This is the story of Daniel McGee, a hopelessly depressed individual. He started out giving brief movie reviews on YouTube, however has started having problems, and no matter what he does, he cannot make his troubles go away.
Yo, what up, man? Fuck, you look rough. So you gonna let me know what? So, how's it been going, man? Not bad, huh? So what's up, man? I've given up reviewing movies, man. Come on, dude, why? I'm like your biggest fan. Do you even watch my videos? No, but that's not the point. Look, I'm having trouble getting out of bed in the morning, okay? I can't pay the bills. I can't afford to go to the cinema due to this whole 3D bullshit. I'm your angel, my friend. I heard you cry and I came over to offer you something. No, man, not that stuff again. Come on, it'll help you concentrate. Unlock your full potential and all that. We've been through this. I can't get hooked on that shit again. Dude, you only had one. So you got a script for your next video or what? No, man, I can't be bothered writing that shit. Look, you wrote my exams for me in secondary school, right? Can you not just do this one favour for me? No. I can't write your reviews for you, man. I haven't even seen Bridesmaids. You do this thing where you can go in people's minds and write down what they think. Just do this one thing for me, please. That Christopher Nolan film's fucking with your head, man. Look, only you can write your reviews, alright? Which is why I'm going to offer you this one thing one last time. Forget about the fucking pill. I'm sorry, man. It's just me, you know. I'm a bit fucked up in the head lately. Forget it. Forget it. I offered you something no one would turn down. You just fucked up.
Get up. You wanker, get up.
Who said that?
Me.
And who are you?
I am the raccoon.
I'm glad you kicked him out. What a loser.
This is the story of Walter Black, a hopelessly depressed individual. The successful and loving family man he used to be has gone missing. And no matter what he's tried, Walter can't seem to bring him back.
What's that?
It's a brain. Mom says yours got broken.
So you can see that Walter is a man who's lost all hope. But he's about to find his voice.
Bloody hell. Look at you. I'm sick. Do you want to get better? Who are you? I'm the Beaver, Walter. And I'm here to save your damn life.
That little audio clip from the trailer basically sums up the main storyline. Mel Gibson plays Walter Black, a hopelessly depressed individual who works as a toy designer and has distanced himself far from his family, so he's living on his own with multiple attempts of suicide. Now, if you don't like Mel Gibson after all he's done in recent years, don't go and see this film. Even though it doesn't try to make you like Mel Gibson, you will be one of those people who are just sat in the audience and won't like it no matter what he does. I've personally tried to ignore everything that's happened, which was very hard, and was glad to see him return in last year's Edge of Darkness. If Walter Black was played by anyone other than Mel Gibson, this film wouldn't work. As soon as the film starts, if you've been following everything that's happened, you will buy into the fact that this character is a troubled human being. Now, Mel's son in the film is played by Anton Yelchin, who was in two great sci-fi action films back in 2009, Terminator Salvation and Star Trek. Here he tries to distance himself and avoid the route his father went down, which I guess can make you sympathise with Mel Gibson's character. Now, as the title suggests, you may be thinking, wait, there's a beaver in here somewhere, isn't there? Well, yes, Walter finds a beaver puppet and escape and creates his whole identity with it to get close to his family again and get back on track with his job. If you combine to the fact that this film is basically just Mel Gibson going through his personal life talking to a hand puppet, you'll love this film because it's a great piece of work. There is also a subplot between Anton Yelchin's character and Jennifer Lawrence, this small romantic love storyline, which at times may get in the way of the main plot with Mel Gibson and stops it from being a true psychological character study. However, I find that it's a welcome addition as you really see the relationship develop between father and son. After all, this film is as much about the son as it is the father. Throughout The Beaver, it's very sad, but not to the point where you feel depressed while watching it, despite the fact that you really buy into it because Jodie Foster and Mel Gibson give great performances. But the very last scene, the very last shot, makes you leave on a very high note. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Jodie Foster directs the film and stars as Mel Gibson's wife. The actual beaver puppet is at times very creepy and you forget that it's just Mel Gibson's hand, with him talking in a thick Cockney accent. Like when Mel Gibson is having sex with Jodie Foster, the beaver is reacting to what Mel Gibson's going through, which is just so fucked up. This is a delve into the psychology of Walter Black, who is essentially Mel Gibson, especially after his personal life in recent years. The only negative thing I can think of right now is the simplicity of the story. Me, it didn't get boring because I was fully invested in the story and the characters, but there really isn't a lot to it. If I told someone to see this film and they came back to me saying, what's good about this film, it was shit, then I'd be stuck. I'm really unsure if I can recommend anyone out there to see it, but I personally really liked it, which is why I'm going to give it a 7.2 out of 10.
Well, that didn't go so bad, did it?
No. Perhaps you're right. Maybe things are going to change from now on.
Yes, but first we have unfinished business.
Yo Tyler, how's it going? Look, could you come over for a few minutes? There's just something we need to discuss. Is it really that important that you can't just tell me over the phone? Nope. Alright. I'll be there in a few minutes. Alright, cheers buddy. Now what's this all about?
Time will tell, my friend. But first, Bridesmaids.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
What about like a princess theme?
Versace meets the gold rush.
I'm thinking tanned gentlemen that swallow fire and wear sarongs.
Female Fight Club. We grease up. Surprise! Beat the crap out of her.
I don't hate it.
Vegas it is.
Yes, I saw Bridesmaids. I didn't have much expectation for this film. I just thought it'd be another one of these girly wedding comedies. And truthfully, I was taken by surprise. The main star is Kristen Wiig, who also co-wrote the film, and she's a bitch, in all honesty. She's hot, but she's a bitch. She doesn't really care about anyone else. She has to be the centre of attention. She falls in love with the wrong guys and destroys other couples' relationships. At first she's against relationships because she just ends up sleeping with Jon Hamm's character, but meets a sweet cop and starts to have feelings for him. But being the bitch she is, she runs away from what could be the perfect life for her. Okay, that is just a subplot. Let's get to the main plot of the film. Kristen Wiig is given the opportunity to be her best friend's maid of honour at her wedding, but shit goes wrong, and that's basically it. Rose Byrne plays one of the bridesmaids who Kristen becomes jealous of because she is sexier, wealthier, and has better ideas for the party they will have before the wedding, and it's great to see them play off each other, despite the fact that there's one joke early on which is just dragged out so much. Melissa McCarthy plays another one of the bridesmaids and is definitely the funniest thing in the film. She steals every scene that she's in. The strong laughs didn't come a good way into the film, despite the fact that the film opens with a very funny sex scene. But when the strong laughs do start, it becomes very funny. One thing I did notice was that they must have cut a lot out of this movie because there was loads of stuff in the trailer which were not in the theatrical release for this film, which is why I'm thinking that they will make, an extended, unrated edition for the DVD when it comes out. However, the film was overly long anyway, 2 hours, possibly a bit more. As I said, there were some strong laughs, but they don't appear until later in the film, and some of the stronger laughs in the trailer were not included in the film. One reason I try not to go and see these films is because they typically end on some sort of dancing or singing number, which The Hangover 2 did as well. But luckily with this film, there's a scene at the start of the credits which made me leave on such a high note. And it still makes me laugh thinking back to it now. I didn't come out saying, oh, they really had to go there. Overall, this is a funny movie. I think if you're a woman, you'll like this a bit more because there were some jokes intended for women or the homosexual crowd. The film started to slow down in the third act because there weren't enough solid jokes. But regardless, I still enjoyed this film and recommend that you see it. So yeah, 6.8 out of 10. It's all about Danny. I'm a busy man. Whoa, Danny. What are you doing? What have you done to me?
I've gave you everything, Daniel. I did what you wanted to do the day he gave you that fucking pill. To reimburse me, I must now take away everything.
What are you gonna do to me?
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get my fucking body paint on, that's what I'm gonna do.
No.
Don't you find it fair? You don't find it right? You selfish cunt!
You didn't give me anything. Why must you take away everything?
I'm not going to kill you if that's what you mean. I just want to be free.
But it's my right hand. I do everything with that hand. You know what Woody Allen says? If having sex is like playing bridge, if you don't have a good partner, you better have a good hand.
You sick fuck! Oh, fuck no. Oh, you are pathetic, Daniel.
What are you fucking laughing at?
No, what are you doing? You can't do this, I'm your right hand, remember? No!
Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now?
You still need to review Transformers Dark of the Moon. Who's fucking laughing now?
Oh, fuck.
Our entire space race of the 1960s was in response to an event.
If you breathe a word of what you've seen here, it will do time for treason.
Everything humans know of our planet, we were told, had been shared. You lied to us. You've made a grave mistake.
I love Michael Bay, okay? In my eyes, he has not made one bad movie. Some of you may be like, wait a minute, dude. You like Pearl Harbor? Yes. Armageddon? Hell yeah. You are aware that he directed Transformers 2, right? Hell yeah! And you know what? I liked it the first time I watched it. Transformers 3. Do you really like that? Sort of, yeah. Now if this was anything like Transformers 2, I know I would like it, because I'm in the vast minority of people who like all of Michael Bay's Transformers movies. Truthfully, this Transformers film is worse than the previous other two, but still it's not a bad movie in my opinion. I cannot possibly go through the main plot of the film because the film is really slow paced and there isn't much action throughout the first 2 acts. But when the last 40 minutes comes along, it's just one huge action set piece in the city of Chicago. Other than that, there's a real epic chase scene on the motorway, which was about halfway in the film, which was when I thought, okay, now the film's going to pick up, we're going to have more action. But that didn't happen. It didn't happen until the last 40 to 30 minutes. The ending is like Battle Los Angeles, but instead of a group of soldiers you don't care for, it's a group of soldiers you do care for, along with the fucking Autobots. As you know, Megan Fox isn't in this film. Instead, it's this British chick named Rosie Huntington Whiteley, who can't act for shit. But when you've got an ass like that, no one gives a toss, darling. And Michael Bay doesn't shy away from that fact. Seriously, the first shot of her is a low shot of her walking up the stairs with barely anything on. The camera was right in there. I love the fact that we didn't spend time learning how she met Shia LaBeouf. And yes, she is another love interest. They immediately start off as boyfriend and girlfriend, and just have a brief flashback showing how they first met, which is when I was thinking, okay, that leaves room for more action, if there was any. Instead we have so much exposition for this overcomplicated plot, and subplots, as well as introducing us to all these new characters, and that's the main problem with this film, too many human characters. Ken Jeong from the Hangover films, you know, that annoying little gay Asian guy. In this film he plays that annoying little gay Asian guy, who I believe was an astronaut or someone who worked for NASA, I can't really remember. And John Malkovich was just a stepping stone in the subplot of Sam Witwicky trying to find a job. John Turturro returns, and in every film I look out to see if he does some kind of tribute to the Jesus character. And I especially look out for it in these Transformers movies. In this film it came really close to being that. I'm not saying he gets dressed up and goes bowling or anything, but there is one line spoken in the same accent as Jesus. In the first film the main villain is Megatron. In the second film Megatron wasn't in it an awful lot, and in this film he's hardly in it. Isn't he the main villain in the cartoon? Instead we get another villain, what I'm not going to say because it'll just ruin the film for you. Perhaps if you watch the cartoon you may already have a guess. This may be like a movie adaptation of a certain storyline in the comics or the cartoon, I'm not really sure. In the first film Megatron transforms into this huge alien ship. In the second he turned into a tank if I remember correctly. And in this one it's some kind of truck. The first time we see him in this film he is so fucking badass with his sandy hood over his head. But what more do you expect from the guy who played Agent Smith in L1? The two racist stereotypical robot twins from the second one were scrapped, but Bay decided to keep the Joe Pesci Bot 9000 and also brought a wacky friend with him, which was a welcome addition for me at first. Then there's a scene with him in the last action set piece in the film which was just so completely ridiculous. There was also a new Autobot, Sentinel Prime, voiced by Spock, and a new villain who I forget his name, but commands this huge devouring worm thing which can just plow into anything and just completely annihilates the skyscraper. which results in probably the best sequence in the film. There are also a few minor new robots, like the small retarded big-headed slave to Megatron, this vulture-type Decepticon, and 2 Scottish Autobots. For getting a lot of shit for making the second one, you can tell Michael Bay was trying so hard not to go off on a tangent and make this a silly comedy by putting loads of childish humour in it. Granted, there aren't enough as in the second one, but that might be this film's downfall, because I actually liked some of the humour in the second one, and here he cuts the joke short and plays it safe. As I mentioned before, the last action sequence is the high point of the film for me, and skydiving scene, oh! According to the producer, 95% of that scene was practical, which makes it all the more awesome. Now maybe it's just since Inception I've started to notice this, but I've noticed the same type of soundtrack used in other films. One example is in Sucker Punch with the robots on the train, and here the skydiving sequence, it almost sounded identical to the song Mind Heist played in the trailer for Inception. If you plan on seeing this film, listen out for it. A lot of this film, however, was CGI, as you would expect, and I'm not a huge fan of CGI unless it's done well. In this film, it's done really well. These 3 Transformers movies probably have some of the best CGI I've seen, as it interacts so well with the environment and the other characters. One other point is that if this wasn't a Transformers movie, if somehow you replaced the robots with humans but kept the choreography the same, this would probably be one of the most violent films to date. But because the robots, it's alright, despite the fact that some of them even bleed. I mean, we have decapitations, robots being torn apart, having the rib cages torn open and shot gangland style. It's fucking brutal. Also the 3D, I don't know if it's just me, but I've sort of become immune to 3D movies now. I've become so used to watching films in 3D that I almost forget that they are actually in 3D. Overall, I like this film as a silly popcorn flick that it is. The first 2 acts were very slow paced, but in my opinion, it's worth it to see the incredible action set piece at the end, which takes up about 30 or 40 minutes of screen time. Maybe I like this film a little bit more because I didn't pay to see it. Don't you just love going with family? I know some of you will disagree with me on this, but I am glad that Michael Bay didn't truly fuck up this trilogy. I consider this to be one of my favourite trilogies in recent years. Transformers Dark of the Moon gets a 6.5 out of 10, and yes, that is me being very generous. As always, thanks guys for watching. If you've been hearing a lot of commotion outside in this video, it's the builders making this huge fucking crate outside my house. I'll show you. Look at that bullshit. Yeah, so obviously they're being very noisy. Well, hopefully it didn't really, interrupt this video too much. In the next video I'll review 3 more films, probably Captain America and Horrible Bosses. I'm not sure what's out next month, so we'll see. Hope you liked the Beaver parody, as stupid as it was. But yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you all later. But what more do you expect from the guy who played Agent Smith in Oh, it looks like Brond from here, even though it's L1 from Lord of the Rings. I'm a wanger.